Hey my friends, how's it going? It's Ultimus, and today I thought I would spend our video talking to you about the Warcraft movie. Finally saw it a couple days after release, this past Saturday to be exact. And let's go ahead and just cut to the chase and jump right in with my spoiler-free review and thoughts on the movie itself. Was it the best movie I've ever seen? No. Was it a bad movie? No. Not at all. Was it fun? Absolutely. Some of just the most fun I think I've had in a while watching a movie. And just, again, strictly as a Warcraft lover and Warcraft player. It was so cool seeing a universe and a world that I love put together in such a beautiful way that was full of so much love and passion for the game in the same way that I would have love and passion for it, and present it as a film. I hope this doesn't come across as disrespectful, but it felt like a high budget fan film. Now, typically when you say fan film, it feels almost disrespectful simply because it almost implies low budget, bad acting, stuff like that. But it was a movie that was made by legitimate lovers of the Warcraft franchise for people who love Warcraft. If you are not familiar with Warcraft, you might be a little bit lost. There was a lot in the movie that was put in there very subtly that you would pick up on as a Warcraft lover. There were many times I found myself doing this during the movie, just because it's like subtle stuff that wasn't exactly said, hey, this is so-and-so, or this is such and such, that you kind of have to look out for. So there's a lot of cool stuff like that you'll probably miss out on if you're not keen on the lore or know too much about it. I got a mustache here that is poking up into my nose and is tickling me. That just will not do, good sir. You guys seen that meme going around of Khadgar's whisker? No. So as a whole, I will go on record and say I thoroughly enjoyed the movie. It is not a perfect movie, don't get me wrong, but it is worth rewatching, and I will probably go back and rewatch it again. I will probably even go back and watch it in 3D, because I actually want to experience this movie in 3D. I saw it in 2D initially, but it might be kind of fun to go back and see what it looks like in 3D, just as far as depth goes, because I feel like 3D movies have gotten a lot better in that they're going for more of that immersive experience rather than just trying to like shock and awe. Some of my favorite things about the movie, music was gorgeous and wonderful and intense. It fit the themes so very, very well. The CGI was some of the best I think I've ever seen in a cinematic experience. Both large-scale cities and, of course, characters, obviously orcs, all those good stuff like that. One of the coolest things for me as well was seeing cities that I have walked through, digitally for so many, many years, and all of a sudden seeing them on screen. Again, I won't spoil anything for anybody, but when one particular city showed up on screen for the first time, I remember just sitting there just with like my jaw dropped. It was just like, wow, that was gorgeous. The way all of the different races and characters looked and such like that was really well done. The acting, honestly, was very enjoyable. It was really cool seeing a movie with people that were just as invested, if not more invested, really, probably. I'm not afraid to say I probably got out-nerded by half that cast. But just such love for the game and then the universe pouring into that movie. You could see the love that they took and had for the movie. Something I will say to keep in mind when going to see the movie, if you have yet to see it and you are unaware, much like anything with Marvel or DC, they are their own universe timelines. While it is strongly based on the pre-existing timeline that we see in the games, or in Marvel's case, the comic books, it is its own timeline. You have the Marvel Cinematic Universe, so you'll see certain liberties taken with the Avengers, with Captain America, with Thor, all those things like that. Expect the same with Warcraft, which of course you'll either hate it or love it probably. Me personally, for the most part, I was okay with it. There was a couple points in the movie that I was like, I'm not really too keen on that necessarily, but to me, at least, as someone who is fairly familiar with Warcraft lore, I can see why and how they took that direction, how they can still make it work with lore and stuff like that. So, very, very much well put together, well done. trying to think what else do I really want to talk about. Again, I'm trying to keep in mind what would be spoilers, what would not. One of the best things about the movie, too, and something I was talking to a couple friends about that saw it, and they all agreed as well, was that I liked that they did a good job presenting it in a way to where you felt empathy and you could actually agree and find yourself siding with either faction at one point in time. Like, you can actually see and understand where each one is coming from. And so it didn't feel like they were playing favorites in any way, shape, or form. There was no Horde favoritism. There was no Alliance favoritism. At least it didn't seem like that to me, which was kind of cool. And while it's not really that big of a deal to me because I just enjoy the story as a whole, I could imagine there would be quite a few of the Warcraft community that would get bent out of shape if that were an issue. So there's that. The spells and imagery for any of the spell casting and magic in the movie was so well done. It was beautifully put together to where it was very believable. That all of a sudden you're thinking, holy crap, so-and-so is casting a spell. Like, oh my goodness. Lots of cool stuff there. So, do I recommend seeing it if you haven't? I definitely do. If you're not a Warcraft fan, there may be some things that are lost on you. There's a lot of subtle nods and Easter eggs in the movie that you might not be familiar with, unless you, of course, are familiar with Warcraft, which is why I say that it was definitely a fan film, for fans, by fans. The highest budget fan film and probably the best done fan film of all time. But again, so keep that in mind. If I were to summarize it in a quick synopsis or summary, though, for anybody, potentially the best video game movie adaptation to date. I mean, all things considered, when you look at Mortal Kombat, the Mortal Kombats, the movies, Street Fighter, the Mario Brothers, oh god. So many other video game movies, the Blood Rain movie, I don't remember if there was more than one of those, I hope not. Trying to think what other video game movies that I typically avoid in general. Again, just none of them very, very good. In this particular case, I think this movie stands to set a precedence and be the first of its kind to be, the first well-made and actually palatable video game movie adaptation. So, that being said, the fact that it accomplished that, I think, speaks volumes to the quality, love, and care that went into the movie. And so, yeah, if you have yet to see it, if you are a Warcraft fan or if you're just curious about anything Warcraft related, I definitely recommend it. Again, I will be going back to see it again, I can guarantee you that, especially in 3D. I want to check it out in 3D now since I've seen it in 2D. I feel like 3D movies have gotten a lot better, and I'd be curious to see what a lot of those spells and animations look like on the big screen in 3D. So, I'm trying to think what else would be fun to talk about for the Warcraft movie. Talked a little bit about some of the liberties taken already. I guess to kind of touch on that point a little bit more, again, like I said, most of the liberties that they took with the movie were palatable and I thought were acceptable. I wasn't really too bothered by a lot of them. There were a couple that I was just like, I would have done things a little bit differently, or I would have kept that true to form, but for the most part, again, they tied it up and presented it in a certain way that was believable and was still acceptable, again, as far as lore goes. I am definitely looking forward to, hopefully, what will be a part 2 for it. I could see them continuing to make more and more of these movies, and I really do hope they do, just because I want to keep seeing them. I really do. But I think that's all I pretty much got to say about it. Hopefully, again, kept it short, sweet, to the point, more or less. Hope this was spoiler-free. Enough for you guys. Yeah, I don't know. Tons of fun. Go watch it. Go, if nothing else, go support it. Just because, again, I think it sets a precedence for the quality and standards that can be and should be expected for video game movie adaptations. Because, I mean, really, as far as I'm concerned, if anybody can get it right, it'll be Legendary, Blizzard, and Duncan Jones. Dude's a dang good director. So, that's all I got on that. If you guys have seen it, hope you enjoyed it. Please do let me know in the comment section, without spoilers, what you thought of the Warcraft movie if you have seen it. And then let me know, of course, if you're planning on seeing it. All those good things, those juicy bits. But as always, guys, thank you so much for watching. Please don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe if you haven't done so already. And I'll catch you next time.